Hi everyone. I have mentioned many times in previous videos how the Watchtower is going to be tightening the controls on you, on the rank and file. It is the information age. There's just too much information out there, and they can't shut us up. They can't shut the information down. So the only recourse that they're left with is to control you even further. And at the latest district convention, the talk motivating right-hearted ones to love, ... spiritual father, they introduced a new way that they are going to not only control you, the rank and file, to what questions you will be and won't be allowed to discuss with the householder, which, if you're not a Jehovah's Witness, the householder, that's you. So this is how they're going to be discussing things at the door, apparently. And it's absolute, pure pushing propaganda. There's no more discussion. There's no more questions allowed. So here's some clips from the talk. I will put a link to the full talk below, and I will also put a link to the new brochure. And also what was interesting is there were a couple of Lifton's Lifton has the 8-point criteria for mind control. There were a few of them that just jumped right out at me. Wonder if you'll see them the same. Anyway, here we go. Talk to you later. Bye.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I was diminishing my own joy in the ministry by giving too much power to the householder.
Too much power to the householder?
Yes, that's what a circuit overseer told me when I talked to him about making return visits. And he showed me 3 scriptures that changed my whole attitude.
Let's see, Matthew 10, verse 11. It says, "Into whatever city or village you enter, search out who in it is deserving."
Notice what our responsibility is?
Well, to search out those that are deserving.
Now this verse describes the householder's responsibility. Would you like to read it?
Of course. Acts 13, verse 48. It says, "When those of the nations heard this, they began to rejoice and to glorify the word of Jehovah. And all those who were rightly disposed for everlasting life became believers."
In other words, while our responsibility is to search, the householder has a responsibility too. He must be teachable. He must have a spiritual hunger along with the humility it takes to accept the good news.
While our responsibility is to search persistently, the householder's responsibility is to accept or reject the message. "And a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of Thyatira, and a worshiper of God, was listening. And Jehovah opened her heart wide to pay attention to the things being spoken by Paul."
Remember, Jesus said, "No man can come to me
unless the Father who sent me draws him."
That's exactly how the Bible puts it at John 6:44, and it emphasizes Jehovah's role. He can open people's hearts.
If the householder is rightly disposed.
That's right.
So, let me make sure I understand this now. This brochure is not like many of our other publications, which the householder can read at his own leisure from beginning to end.
Not really. It's specifically designed for discussion with one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Is not like many of our other publications, which the householder can read at his own leisure from beginning to end.
Not really. It's specifically designed for discussion with one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Is not like many of our other publications, which the householder can read at his own leisure from beginning to end.
Not really. It's specifically designed for discussion with one of Jehovah's Witnesses.